Welcome to the Ultimate Mixtape, an interactive podcast on a mission to create an epic playlist. With submissions from your host, creative guests, and superfans along the way. What songs will make the cut? This podcast is about music, friends, and memories. Share your favorite stories on www.theultimatemixtape.com to join in the podcast fun. Here's your host, Jess Manzilla.
What's up, everyone? I'm Jess Manzilla, and with me, as always, my partner in life and crime. Here is Jimmy McFadden.
Hey, everyone.
In this episode, we're talking to the talented and creative Laura Jones. She is the creator of Legit Emo Designs, and her stuff has been worn by bands like Mayday Parade. So we are super thrilled to get her on the show to talk about what's inspired her and what she's listening to. And if you're listening right now, you can also shop at the same time. If you use the code Mixtape15 on legitemo.com, you're going to get 15% off of everything that you get on her website. And you want to stock up on your emo stuff before When We Were Young and the Emo's Not Dead cruise. So definitely check out her website. We'll post some links to that. But here is our interview with Laura of Legit Emo Designs. Welcome, Laura Jones, aka Legit Emo Designs. We're so excited to have you on the podcast today. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually saw your stuff on a Elder Emo Facebook group. I saw you post there and I was like, oh my God, this is really cute. So I kind of clicked and, looked at all your stuff and fell in love with the Cut My Life into Pieces shirt. Yes. I instantly showed that to everyone I knew. So I love the idea of you starting your own clothing line, and you kind of mentioned that you took the leap in doing it. So I just love when people do stuff that makes them happy. It kind of reminds me of us doing this podcast. I mean, even that. So what inspired you to launch your own clothing line, the Legit Emo Designs? And obviously you're influenced by emo culture, aka the emo revival. Tell us a little bit about how that started for you.
Yeah, so a lot of it did actually start for St. Patrick's Day. So trying to find St. Patrick's Day shirt that's not in cursive cutesy letters and all "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" and shamrocks everywhere. And it's really hard for holidays to find a shirt that's not over the top and kind of has that emo alternative vibe to it. So that's kind of where it all started. I got I found this one shirt of a skeleton with a shamrock. I was like, all right, there's work in the market for people who have a different alternative style, but also want to celebrate the holidays, but not as flamboyantly,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think about that coming into trend now? All of the emo stuff is coming back. So it's helping us. It's helping you a little bit too. But what do you think about these new aged emos?
All right. I will never hate on any type of emo. Even if I'm not vibing with a certain type of music, I mean, that's kind of where the whole culture of emo comes from. It's not feeling like you fit in with the norm, and kind of finding your friends and finding a safe place to be able to express yourself. So any sort of emo, even if I'm not super vibing with the music, I love them all. And, we got to create and make sure we keep that safe space for people to feel like they can express themselves in that way.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you started this clothing line, did you ever think you'd get support from Derek from Mayday wearing your stuff?
Yes. So there's something you should know about me. I'm an extremely pushy person. All of my friends and coworkers kind of just had a shirt thrown at them, and I'm like, all right, go change. Let's go. I'm taking some pictures. Hurry up. So I am that pushy friend, but of course I'm extremely thankful for the support of everyone I know. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It was cool to see him have it on. I was like, that's actually really fucking cool. What are some of the bands that you relate to, and how did you relate to emo music when you were growing up?
So growing up, I went to Catholic school for like 12 and a half years.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, yeah. So it's like very strict, having to wear a uniform. So it really was a way for me to feel like I could express myself through music, because I felt like it was the only option that I had. And I mean, of course, like the originals, Blink-182, Paramore, depending on your age, like, oh my gosh, school to your first heartbreak. Ooh, the Paramore album. I remember after I got dumped for the first time, that was on repeat. But yeah, so I mean, I actually did start listening to Blink-182. It's a funny story. My grandma was in town this long time ago. It was probably like 6, 7. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I'm going to take you to go get the new Britney Spears album at Best Buy. So we go and I get it. And I'm in the car, like with my CD player. I'm like, this doesn't sound like Britney Spears, but I think I can dig it. Well, she got the Enema of the State album. Blonde woman, Blink-182, Britney Spears. So yeah, so I guess my soul turned emo in 1999.
So it's her fault in a good way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I owe it all to her.
That is hilarious.
Well, I guess that's kind of crazy because even like Blink-182 is back right now.
Right.
Like, how wild is it that you're seeing some of the bands that you used to love when you were younger actually starting to play again?
Oh, it makes me so happy. Because, I mean, even being able to just, I don't know, I like that people are now being able to experience them again.
Yeah.
Like the younger kind of crowd who never had the opportunity to go see them live, or the excitement of a new album release day. So it makes me super, super stoked for them, because, I mean, I'm still like giddy with excitement when album drops.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I actually kind of, when I look at your stuff, it reminds me of the days where I was all about skinny jeans, studded belt, vintage t-shirt. Like, that's, I think, why I fell in love with your designs, because they were so reminiscent of things that I loved back then. And even like that summer emo tank that you just came out with, I love that one. And Jimmy keeps talking about the Finding Emo one.
So good. It's so good.
So when you're designing stuff or ready to push something out, what kind of emotion are you wanting people to feel when they see your stuff?
I want them to feel comfortable. And just kind of, I mean, and when you say it reminds you of the skinny jeans era and stuff, I never grew out of that. I still wear all black skinny jeans after 17 years. So I think that really is a big part of why I started, and I want people to have that option of, I mean, just because it was 15, 16 years ago vibe, like you said, emo revival it's happening in front of us.
It's huge. Yeah.
And I want to just go back to the OG style and embrace
the
it.
Glory days. Now, one thing I noticed, it's kind of different now, but it's always been a little bit more difficult for females to get involved with, a punk rock scene or pop punk, or they kind of intermix at this point between the bands. When you talk about Blink-182, they could be either. Or did you have any issues or concerns, being a strong female, trying to get into a business that can be construed as more male dominated?
Ooh, great question. I love that. So I was 18. It was summer I graduated high school. I went on Warped Tour, and I worked on Warped Tour.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
18-year-old.
So it
was absolutely insane. I think there was maybe a total of 6 women total on the entire tour, from stage hands to the bands to the workers and like for catering. It was a lot, but I did get prepped a lot by my friends that I went with of like, you're a strong woman, like you're here because we believe in you and we want to help you, but don't let anyone walk over you. Like it is very male dominated. So it definitely, I think that, I mean, being that young, like 18, like, and getting that fully immersive experience, I don't have time for BS anymore. Yeah, it definitely made me a lot stronger.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like what you were saying is you got this whole immersive experience, and now you've been able to use that to branch out on your own. So that's pretty exciting. Like, are you looking to get more like partnerships with new bands? Like, what is your next goal?
That would be amazing. Definitely when I was kind of thinking everything through, that was, I'm not going to worry about that part in the beginning. Because honestly, I don't know how any of that works.
Right.
So I would have to do some Googling on like partnership strategies and stuff. But I mean, I have already made like 5 different the used shirts that I was just gonna make for myself. Band, so that would be dream come true.
Yeah, so if there's any bands that are looking at this now and they want to reach out to you, we will be putting up your links later. But I think this is also my one chance to talk about something different on a music podcast, because everything else we've talked about is more like creative and music based. But you also have some fun designs that are geared towards Bravo and dare I say it, Scandal, which is like my favorite thing in the world. So, I mean, we just have to discuss it. What did you think about this, and how did it rock your world? I know you have a couple designs for it.
Yes, I know I'm going to be that grandma one day, being like, sit down, children. I know the time and the place I was at when I saw that first post that it like broke. I was shook. And like my immediate thought afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to wait an entire year to see this. I was like, absolutely no way that I would be able to like handle this. So I do want to say thank you, Bravo, for releasing it. I would not be okay, because I'm still not okay. I don't know. I mean, let's be real. Did you even really like Tom to begin with?
Well, Jimmy texted, I think Jimmy's the one that texted me everything, and I was like, this can't be real. This isn't real. There's no way.
I mean, Raquel. I mean, obviously you watched the finale.
Of all people.
The Tom and Raquel like moment, I think I almost threw my remote and I threw up. I'm like, how you have the audacity to just be like smiley and giddy? Oh gosh, it's disgusting.
Yeah. I call her Ratchet.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, Ratchet's a good name for her. We watched it. Actually, Jess got me into it, 6 years ago, and it was just like, I messaged her. I was like, James just said that this just happened, and she's like, there's no way in hell this happened. And I'm like, it's on TMZ, and TMZ pretty much gets everything or most things right. I was like, I think it's real. Their relationship was always kind of fake already, like Ariana and Tom, because they just wanted to look like everything was perfect, and it wasn't. So it's been interesting. We have a few group chats with different friends that are just like watching it nonstop.
Spirals, and it has all these conspiracy theories. So what is your theory about what will be revealed at the reunion?
I mean, obviously, okay, so before I saw this a couple days ago, so now there's a theory that Raquel's pregnant.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
So I don't think so before that broke, I thought it was going to be Raquel slept with someone else.
Ooh,
so I was like, maybe Brock.
Yeah. That's been floating around.
Something to where like because the only people that did one-on-one interviews are Raquel and Tom.
Right.
So it's either Tom. My boyfriend had a theory. So remember when they were like, was there anyone else?
Great.
And Sheena was like, yeah, I mean, like, oh my God, it's a full-blown affair. It's not like you like take acid at Coachella and you make out. And my boyfriend's like, that was oddly specific.
Very specific.
So maybe Tom and Sheena made out and did a little something. I don't know. But it has to be
betrayal.
Yeah, it has to be something good because they haven't signed their contracts and they're like waiting for this first reunion show to come out because no one else supposedly knows about it other than the three.
I don't think it's the first one. I think it's the last one.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Reveal.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild.
It's absolutely wild. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with my life after this. I'm a little
right. So like, yeah.
When you started like making shirts for that, is that just something that you enjoyed that you wanted to kind of like add into there? Or?
Yeah, so I first made this about the pasta because we rewatched the entire series.
Yeah.
And Andrew like literally could not stop laughing at the scene. Pasta. So like I wanted to just make that shirt for myself, and then I like showed up to work one day and everyone's like, oh my God, I love that shirt. I was like, yeah, why not? So I like made it public. I was like, cool.
Yeah. And he's like the main guy this season. Like everyone loves him this season. So
yeah, what world do we live in right now? Where James Kennedy is like the same one.
Yeah. And Katie's the good person.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We could talk about this literally the whole time. I'm dead serious. But going back to some music stuff, you mentioned Britney Spears, so I can't wait to hear what this answer is. What was your first concert ever, and how like important is this music scene to you?
So my first like big concert was NSYNC.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep. And I'm still holding out for that reunion one day, maybe.
We're hoping for an NSYNC Backstreet Boys dual tour. That would be the most epic thing to ever happen.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, my mind just like exploded for a second. That would be absolutely incredible. But then Britney Spears also has to be on it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, bring back the 2000s.
Yeah. The Disney Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest challenge for you, like, to start your own brand? I know it's probably like learning literally every day in progress, but like how'd you start it all? Like, what's been the hardest part for you?
The hardest part was getting over the self-doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like, I'm like, all right. And so I kind of just started messing with some designs and doing designs. And then I was like, I'll look into like how to do the website, but I'm kind of like a perfectionist in a lot of ways to where I want to make sure everything is perfect. And it kind of got to the point where I was like, if I don't just believe in myself and like just jump into it, it's not going to come to fruition. So that was definitely the hardest part. Just be like, you know what? I believe in myself. Even if nothing happens and it fails, I had a really awesome fun time.
Right.
Because I do it. So.
Yeah, I do photography on the side, but I had every one of those self-doubts, and Jess just finally pushed me over the edge and was like, just put it out there and see what happens. So it's very similar. It's like, I'm glad you've done this because you're learning a ton. Your stuff is out there. You're making money doing something fun.
You never know what could happen and who you meet. Like, you make all these awesome connections, and next thing you know, it could be everywhere. So like I said, I love that you took that chance on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jess told you the one I like. The Finding Emo is, I'm a big Disney person. We have the annual pass. I worked at Disney during undergrad, so that shirt is the best one for me. But what design are you the most proud of out of all of them?
So I do love the Cut My Life Into. That one was like one of the first ones I did. Yeah. And surprisingly, the emo one, like that one kind of just for myself and to just kind of be there. It's been the most popular.
Really?
That
Okay.
seems to be the one that like all the like bands and stuff are gravitating towards too.
Yeah, and it's super cool to see. The ones I'm really loving, I love my red, white, and emo one because that was the exact shirt that I would like want to get for 4th of July.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. So, I mean, kind of going back to like working with different artists, if you could like manifest and create your dream scenario, what bands would you want to work with?
The number one would be Demi Lovato.
Oh,
cool.
hell yeah.
Okay.
She's got the emo heart. That's
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
fell in love was, I think I was like 14.
Yeah.
So, Origin.
Yes.
Yeah, Origin.
Yeah.
Origin story is emo. So
She's
would
been
be
through a lot of shit.
and she's like doing a lot more like she's going back to the rock roots. So that would be super dope.
Yeah.
But more realistically, the Used would be great.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So have you used music like yourself to help you during a difficult time? Like obviously we're talking emo music. I remember sitting on the floor in my room as a teenager just listening to like Fall Out Boy over and over again. Have you used music yourself in that therapeutic kind of way?
Absolutely. And I still actively do. I mean, I have even on my like Spotify, I have all of my different emotions in playlists. So it's like feeling a certain type of anxious. It's like anxious / like because of like something bad happened today. I have all different playlists. It's the first thing that I always go to. And any sort of emotion. And like you said, the amount of times like crying on the floor listening to music and writing it out in my like journal. Absolutely.
I think we've all been there writing out lyrics like oh, with our eyeliner smeared. So I can relate to that.
Okay. Are there any like current designs that you're about to release? I know you just released a ton, but other designs that you're shooting to release shortly? Yeah,
so I'm releasing probably in the next 2 to 3 days, probably 4 to 5 more.
Nice.
I was finishing this one up today. It's an emo George Washington.
Yes.
And it's
why do I secretly love that?
Right.
What exactly did I put? But I made him have like the big swoop, like black hair. And so that's going to be another one of my 4th of July ones. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost June. This is crazy. I thought I had plenty to do this, but I'm not. But after that, I'm going to do probably 2 to 3 in the next like month or 2. And then I'm going to dive deep into the Halloween ones.
Oh, yeah. As you should. Do you have like a background in graphic design? Is that something that you've always done?
Yeah. I'm not the greatest graphic designer. I know Photoshop, a little bit of Illustrator. I got my degree in marketing. And so I had a good amount of classes and a lot of like my internships. I did a little bit of graphic design. I'm not, obviously, I would say I'm like 1 out of 10, like a 4.5, 5.
But you're doing it.
Yeah. It's funny because like I'll think of something, I can see it in my mind, but I can't create it. So I always appreciate people that can like physically create something from their brain.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So regarding some music currently, what music are you listening to now?
Well, the Used new album just got released on Friday. So that will be on repeat for another 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of person where it's like it's the only thing I listen to for a little bit amount of time. So definitely been jamming out to that the last few days.
Yeah. Do you go to a lot of shows? Like I'm thinking like to promote your legit emo design, like going to shows would be a great way. Do you go to a lot of shows?
I haven't in a little bit. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but Tallahassee
I know.
is very rough. So it's whenever I do go to one, it's like has to be Jacksonville, Tampa,
Yeah.
like Atlanta. So it's
Yeah.
not as easy as it is for people who live in bigger cities.
Yeah.
But I may be trying to go to see the U's this weekend. So.
Oh, hell yeah.
I saw that they were coming through. I feel like there's been so many tours announced that like I feel like I'm going to spend every dollar that I have.
Yeah. Hey, there's worse things you could spend your money on.
That is true.
Right.
We could be crackheads. So
Yeah.
Yeah, with us living in Daytona, it's like we typically hit Orlando because it's like an hour away, but we've been known to go to Tampa, Miami. We're going to see Blink in Tampa. But yeah, Tallahassee is, you got to come to Orlando or Jacksonville, like you said. Yeah. So this podcast is obviously called The Ultimate Mixtape. So each guest we have on, we like to ask them what song would they like to add to our mixtape. So we're going to do 12 episodes this season. So at the end of the 12th episode, we're going to have like 25 to 30 songs, and we're going to make a playlist on Spotify with it. So what song or two or three would you like to add? And it can be any genre, anytime. Doesn't have to be current.
All right. Well, guess who the first band's going to be?
The Used.
The Used. Cherry by the Used on the new album. It's really good. And it's of course still has like the Used vibe, but it's a lot different than anything that they've really done. So I'm super vibing that song right now. I have to Mayday Parades.
Yes. Absolutely.
Their new album, they just released it, which is More Like a Crash.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Love it. That music video is absolutely hilarious.
Right, it is.
So good.
Yep.
Then other than that, it's kind of emo. No, it's emo. This kid's super emo. And I'm like, I randomly just found this kid and he's so good. His name's Christian Gates.
Ooh.
And the name of the song is Dangerous State of Mind. And he's like this like 18-year-old little emo kid. And I just, my heart like, is like, oh, protect him at all costs.
Yeah, I love that. Support the youngins as they come up.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. Those are good. We love Mayday. Obviously, we love Used too, but we love Mayday.
Definitely adding those to the playlist. The Used was like one of my bands that I was obsessed with. Like I always wanted like the rope with the heart tattoo because it just gets you right in the feels. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know you're a busy gal, but can you tell everybody that's listening today, like where they can find your socials or your website?
Yeah, absolutely. So the website is legitemo.com. And then on Facebook and Instagram, it's Legit Emo Designs.
Okay.
Then, go buy stuff. Also, I love to hear things that you want to see. If you're like looking for a specific shirt or something and you can't find it because it's not like out there yet, just shoot me a message and it'll be up.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because kind of like how you started, like you were looking for something specific and you couldn't find it. So heck yeah, if you guys are looking for something, reach out, and we're gonna post your links and everything. We'll share it on Instagram and our website. But this has been so much fun talking to you today. We'll run into you at a show since we're in Florida. We'll see you somewhere, some emo night probably.
That is very true.
Absolutely.
Probably thinking back, we probably run into each other a few times.
We probably have. That's exactly right.
Well, I really appreciate it, guys. This was awesome.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe everywhere that you get your podcast. And please don't forget to send your favorite songs to our website, theultimatemixtape.com, under the contact section. And while you're at it, please check out our blog. There's a lot of reviews about recent shows we went to, pictures that I've taken. So there's a lot of concerts coming up. So we hope to see you at a show soon.
Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.